Good day to you all. As we are studying about various morphological, anatomical, and physiological adaptations of hydrophytes, let's continue the same. That is, in the earlier class, we discussed about various morphological adaptations. Various morphological adaptations of hydrophytes. In this class, let's take a look about anatomical adaptations or modifications or responses of various hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are the plants of wet places. Hydrophytes, also called aquatic plants. Hydrophytes are many. There are submerged hydrophytes, floating hydrophytes. Among the floating hydrophytes, again, free floating hydrophytes and free floating but rooted hydrophytes and amphibious hydrophytes. Hydrilla, Ceratophyllum, Chara, then Wolffia, Lemna, Azolla, Potamogeton, Utricularia. There are many plants. All of them are considered as a hydrophytes. Keeping in mind almost all the hydrophytes, it is better to study what are the different anatomical adaptations or modifications which helps them to live in the aquatic places or in wet places or in the water itself. Anatomical adaptations. Various hydrophytes mainly they aims at they shows very much reduced the protective tissues. They shows reduction in the protective structures. Reduction in protecting structures. Reduction in protecting structures. Nothing but the epidermis, even the hypodermis, epidermis and cuticle are considered to be as an outermost protective layers of the plant body. The entire body surface covered by the epidermis. So in these group of hydrophytes, especially the outermost the layer, that is the cuticle. It is totally absent. Cuticle, it is totally absent. Very much advanced, thick, highly lignified cuticle is present in majority of the xerophytes. No such well developed cuticle is present in these group of the hydrophytes. Cuticle mainly function as a outermost the protective layer present outer to the epidermis. So almost every hydrophytes, they do not show the presence of well defined the cuticle, or in other words, cuticle it is absent in almost all the hydrophytes, remember. Then as such the epidermis is concerned. Epidermis is also one of the outermost the surface layer of the plant body. It is also protective in nature. It is this epidermis usually it is also poorly developed. In my words, I can say that epidermis mainly aims at in these group of the hydrophytes. Usually, as it contains the cells of the epidermis, as it contains the chloroplasts or chlorophyll pigments, it also undergo the photosynthesis, especially submerged hydrophytes. The entire body surface, that is the epidermis, as it involved in the absorption of the water and other dissolved mineral salts, the epidermis greatly participate in the process of the absorption of the dissolved mineral salts and other nutrients which are present in the water medium. So epidermis is also actually in this group of the hydrophytes greatly participate in the process of the absorption of the water and as well as other mineral salts. Then hypodermis. No well developed hypodermis is present in this group of the hydrophytes. So the hypodermis, if it is present, hypodermis also contain chlorophyll pigments. It also undergo and participate in the process of the photosynthesis and it manufacture the food molecules. So hypodermis and epidermis, especially in these group of the plants, that is in hydrophytes, mainly they serve the photosynthesis function. As the entire plant body composed of loosely arranged the parenchymatous cells, when these loosely arranged parenchymatous cells filled with the water fully, they become turgid. Such a loosely arranged parenchymatous cells, when they become turgid, actually they gives the support, mechanical support. So in this regard, the protective structures, especially the cuticle is absent, then epidermis and hypodermis are poorly defined in this group of the hydrophytes. Then second anatomical adaptation of the hydrophytes is that almost all the different free floating, submerged and amphibious hydrophytes, especially they shows increase in the aeration. Means what? Increase in the aeration means what? It is the second anatomical adaptation. Increase in the aeration. 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 The aquatic habitat is one such a habitat where we observe that aquatic medium, it may be the pond, pool, ditches or any other the water body. Usually it is the habitat is usually deficient in oxygen content, and as well as the light availability of the light is also deficient, especially submerged hydrophytes get deficient amount of the light. So due to the low level of the available oxygen and the low level of very low level of the light rays or the light rays to these plants, in order to get plenty of the oxygen, these plants they develop very specialized the tissue, that is the parenchyma. In order to get more oxygen, especially the stomata are related structures which are present on the surface of the plant body. Stomata in these group of the plants are present in such a way that especially the submerged plants totally lack the stomata. They do not exhibit a stomata. Stomata are absent in submerged hydrophytes. It may be the ceratophyllum or it may be the hydrilla or anything else. Then stomata, if they are present in certain hydrophytes, vestigial stomata, nothing but the functionless stomata are noticed in some of the hydrophytes. functionless or vestigial stomata are present in some of the hydrophytes. Vestigial stomata are noticed in some of the hydrophytes. Then other point is that the various hydrophytes they contain, their body contain very specialized the tissue known as arenchyma. This arenchyma is very important tissue. It is a specialized the parenchyma containing the air chambers. Parenchyma it is one of the living simple permanent tissue. If such a living simple permanent parenchymatous tissue contain a number of air chambers in it, such a parenchyma commonly termed as a arenchyma. Arenchyma tissue it is abundantly present in almost all the free floating and rooted free floating plants, and as well as in some of the other hydrophytes. So arenchyma not only gives the buoyancy to the water plants, but also this arenchyma helps the plant to get more amount of oxygen. As the air chambers of the arenchyma tissue contain a lot of air, it may be carbon dioxide or the oxygen. So this arenchyma tissue helps the plant to get more amount of oxygen. So the aquatic medium usually deficient in the oxygen content. In order to overcome or in order to survive under such a habitat, hydrophytes they have developed such an adaptation, that is they have a very specialized tissue, that is the arenchyma containing a number of air chambers filled with the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Whatever the amount of the oxygen that is released during the photosynthesis as a byproduct, it may comes out, it may release to the environment, that is the water or the external air, atmospheric air. Sometimes it may retain within the air chamber. This oxygen again it is reutilized for the respiration process. So in this way the hydrophytes they get more amount of the oxygen which is required for their survival with the help of the arenchyma tissue. This is very important, the one of the anatomical adaptive character of hydrophytes. Then within the air chambers in the arenchyma tissue, we also observe the presence of specialized structures known as diaphragms. These diaphragms nothing but they shows perforations. Very small pores are present everywhere on the wall layer of the layer of their cells. Such a perforations are termed as the diaphragms. It is through these diaphragms there is a continuous the movement of the oxygen or any other gaseous molecules takes place, and it is through these diaphragms the availability of the oxygen molecules takes place to the tissues or each and every cells of the tissue. It is the arenchyma tissue. In this way, the anatomically also they shows adaptive characters to their environment in which they live, that is an aquatic environment. Another important adaptation, that is the anatomical adaptation, is that various hydrophytes also shows reduced the protective tissues, reduced the third one. The third one is that they shows reduction in supporting or the mechanical tissue, supporting or a mechanical tissue. Second one it is increase increase in aeration, increase in aeration, increase in aeration. The third one is reduction in supporting, also called the mechanical tissue. Mechanical tissue, there are living mechanical tissue and then dead mechanical tissues are observed in various plants. Living mechanical tissue, it is commonly the collenchyma tissue. Dead mechanical tissue, nothing but the sclerenchymatous tissue. No well developed the dead mechanical tissue is observed in this group of the plants. Means what? The supporting structures, supporting tissues, especially the sclerenchymatous tissue, it is poorly developed. It is poorly developed. Poorly developed sclerenchymatous tissue, poorly developed sclerenchyma tissue is present in majority of the hydrophytes, especially in amphibious hydrophytes. In amphibious hydrophytes. Submerged hydrophytes lack this sclerenchyma. Then free floating hydrophytes also if they shows no well defined sclerenchyma is present. Then sclerenchyma, if it is present, which is observed only in certain the amphibious hydrophytes. Amphibious hydrophytes are adapted to live both in the water and as well as on the soil. Usually they found to occur on the banks of the ditches, rivers or swamps or any other water bodies where if it rains heavily, a part of the plant usually submerged in the water, and in the summer situation, summer days, usually the water level usually it goes down. So in such a cases, some part of the plant remains be present in the air. In such a amphibious hydrophytes, they may show the presence of poorly developed the sclerenchymatous tissue. This is also one of the important anatomical characteristic property. So in order to live in the aquatic medium or in aquatic habitat, hydrophytes especially they have developed a very interesting the characteristic property. They have developed interesting the character means what? As their body contain loosely arranged the parenchymatous tissue, when all these the cells of the loosely arranged parenchymatous cells contain a lot of water, when they get in lot of water, they become a turgid. Such a turgid, the living cells of the plant actually support the entire plant body. The living turgid, the cells or the entire tissue mechanically support the entire plant. So this is one of the very important anatomical adaptation of the hydrophytes. And another important anatomical adaptation of hydrophytes is that as they live in the water or near the water body or in an aquatic medium or in a wet places, that is the vascular tissues, namely the xylem and the phloem. These plants, they never develop very well developed xylem and then phloem. So we observe the reduction in the vascular tissues. Vascular tissues are of two types: xylem and phloem. Xylem is a water conductive tissue. Phloem is a food conductive tissue. Both these two vascular tissues are poorly developed in these group of the hydrophytes, in these group of the plants, that is the hydrophytes. So xylem, if it is present in the stellar region or in any other the part of the plant, especially they lack almost all the four different elements in it. maybe few elements are present. This means that the xylem is a poorly developed tissue. Xylem, a poorly developed xylem is present. Xylem containing a very few elements. Then phloem is also one of the vascular tissue. This phloem, no well-defined phloem is present in hydrophytes. Phloem perform translocation of the food molecules within the plant body from one organ to the other organ, or from one part of the plant to the other part of the plant. So phloem also it does not contain almost all the four different elements. So very few elements are associated with the phloem. This means that a poorly developed phloem is also present. Poorly developed phloem is also present. As the aquatic plants live in an aquatic medium, as their entire body surface greatly involve or participate in the process of the absorption of the water and other mineral nutrients, the well-defined xylem and its the development in these group of the hydrophytes does not arise at all. So it is another important anatomical adaptive character of the hydrophyte. Then let's move to study the physiological adaptation. Physiological adaptation of the hydrophytes. Physiology. These are the group of the plants as they live in the water. They shows very interesting the physiological adaptation. Very interesting physiological adaptation. Physiological adaptive character. As these group of the plants live in aquatic habitat, the cell sap of their cell sap, its osmotic concentration, it is slightly equal. It is equal or slightly higher than that of the water. Suppose that this is the pond, the surface of the water, the level of the water. Any one of the aquatic plant, maybe the Pistia or any other hydrilla plant, So the cell of this particular, any one of the plant, it's a cell sap, that is a cell contained. Its osmotic concentration, it is equal to the water where it lives, or sometimes slightly higher than that of the water. So the osmotic concentration of the cell sap, it is slightly higher than that of the water. Means what? Water because of the presence of the slight the higher concentration of the cell sap, the higher concentration of the cell sap, osmotic concentration of the cell sap makes them to live in the water. This is one of the very important the physiological response or physiological adaptive character of the hydrophytes. Another important the physiological adaptation is that the osmotic concentration of the cell sap, as it is slightly higher than that of the water moves in, the nutrients moves in. So whatever the nutrients they are required for their growth and development, as the entire body surface involved in the absorption of the water, automatically the nutrients or other the minerals moves in because of the osmotic concentration, of their cell sap. Then the aquatic medium, as it is deficient in the oxygen content, it is the group of the hydrophytes as they develop very specialized tissue, that is the parenchyma, helps them to get in the lot of oxygen. Other physiological the response of these plants is that majority of the submerged hydrophytes, almost all the submerged hydrophytes, they do not undergo transpiration. Transpiration process, it is a high rate of, very rapid rate of transpiration which is observed in the free floating the hydrophytes. In a free floating hydrophytes, the upper dorsal surface of the plant, as it is directly come into contact with the atmospheric air, the light and light intensity, as the upper dorsal layer of the plant in free floating hydrophytes contain a lot of stomata. It is through these stomata transpiration takes place very rapidly, especially free floating and rooted plants shows rapid rate of the transpiration. So this is the physiological adaptation of the hydrophytes. I stop here. I will stop here, and I shall continue with the another aspect in another video class. Thank you.